Okay, Mandra, you're asking me how I get to such a flow of or origination of ideas in me. Okay, new ideas or new variations of existing ideas. Of course, that's all possible. Uh, are possible only by origination. It has to originate. We cannot creatively think and find out what is the next and all that. There are so many techniques in creativity. They are all about forcing people to creatively think new ideas. Thinking new ideas is not possible because thinking is based on existent memories, existent data, existent intelligence. You know. So people say I think as if they are thinking something new. That's why the term creative thinking. What is creative thinking? It is thinking something new, and that is possible only by origination. There is a real difference between non-creative people and creative people. I'm using the word general creativity. The so-called well-known philosophers and writers, film directors, okay, etc. It originates in them. How to get originality? Yes, that is the question. How to become creative? There are so many techniques, forcible thinking. Okay, we can look at it from that angle. Actual creative thinking. That means thinking new variations of existent ideas. That is called creative thinking. Okay, I can tell you that I have read theoretically a lot. I began with the entry into some of the concepts in Upanishads and the Veda of existence, I mean Ayurveda. My father was a genius in Ayurvedic intelligence. And most of those ideas were a little complex and were crisply given. They were not explained. Only a tip of that was explained. And I thought that is the way it is. I thought that was the only explanation available. So what did I do? I started reflecting upon that. Reflecting. That is the critical point here. Reflect. When you get an idea, just look at it again and again and again. After some time, you will get a variation. When you reflect more on that, that available one sentence becomes your own, you know. It is called originalization of an idea. Then when it is your own, you get the freedom to apply variations on that. Variations meaning apply expansions on that. That single idea get expanded, expanded, expanded. Like I was exposed to the mystery of the mountains and the wonder of the mist that surrounds you in rainy seasons. So, in the lonely walks, in that time, this reflection was going on. And new variations from school, college times onwards. Okay. As a result, I developed absolute freedom from the mindsetting of centricity and conformity. Okay. That means doing what other people do and thinking and talking what other people do. Conformity. Centricity is doing what other people do. So when we train ourselves to be alone, then naturally we have to depend on our own perceptions and intuitions and thoughts and our own responses to ambiguities and uncertainties and non-conformities. Yeah, get the point. So, in short, now I am 72, so-called chronologically. Okay. For me, it is so much of practice, let us say so. I don't want to use the word experience. Experience is a very general term. What do we mean by experience? I have done it a lot. Okay. So the thing is, that is called that can also be termed practice. Every time you do a job, you are getting practiced in that. If you do it in a mediocre way, you get practiced in doing mediocre way. So, but because I was having the tendency of variation, not exclusively bound by the given precise data, make variations on that. So I have done a lot of variations. That's why I get origination of ideas. It is, as you think, it is not all the time there. Of course not. Mostly when I am alone. Like at 4 o'clock today, I am sitting alone. Or when I go to sleep again, I am alone. You see. These are the times when ideas originate. So read a lot, wonderful ideas only, and then reflect on that. Even if it is your book, write that critical idea. And during that process of writing, there will be little bit of reflection happening, because you cannot write without little bit of a reflection, unlike talking. And then train yourself. That way you do it for another decade. I have done it. I have done the so-called practicing for the last 4 decades. When I realized in the college that there is something called, I have seen about poems, I have heard about poetry. My mother was a great teacher, a great poet, a great singer. So I was aware, but I never thought about why I cannot write it, actually. So when I was doing in Union Christian College Alvi, I felt that people are all appreciating poets here and there, and they read poetry a lot. Then I thought, why not I write? So I started writing. And a few things I wrote. Then I understood what is poetry. Then I realized that there is something called short story. Then I just reflected on some event, and then that reflected event was expanded, applied variations and linkages, and it's a story. And it was published, one of them was published in the topmost magazine at that time existing in a state like Kerala, a magazine named Anveshanam, published from Madras. Oh, okay, that's all, okay. And of course I got a lot of appreciation and things like that, but again, having practiced in loneliness, I was never affected by appreciation either. If you go for the appreciation of people, then you will have to be conformity and centricity, you know. Then I realized that there is something called play, writing theatre, you know. Then I wrote a beautiful one-act plays, and the first idea I chose was based on the film, the great fiction called The Trial by Franz Kafka. And that was a big success, great audience. At that time, of course, theatre also was appreciated. Okay? And the next one I wrote was based on that poetry part in the beginning of the book, The Illusions. It talks about a workshop mechanic. Then I wrote a one-act play called The Workshop. It was a marvelous appeal, and more than 10, 14 times various locations invited me to play it. Okay. Then I realized that. Then I realized there is something called a long drama, 2.5 hours kind of things. You know, various scenes and in between curtains, and the huge story is shown in a different way, in little more details. Then I wrote a drama, and it has been performed in the #1 auditorium in Jamshedpur called the Tagore, what is that? Yeah, Tata Hall or Tagore Hall, whatever it is. In full audience, full auditorium was full, and people were standing in the doors. It was a 2.5 hour drama. That also I did in my own way. Okay. Then I realized, okay, drama also can be done. By the time there was parallel research going on in my creativity, my doctoral work under a huge giant called Dr. Pradeep in Khandwala. So I had to do a good work. I have heard stories that even after 7 years, a thesis of his own student was not accepted. So I wanted it to be, so without real proper reflection and confirmation that this piece is eligible to be shown to such a magnificent guide, I had to be very reflecting. And my thesis, again, unusual thesis, the foreign reviewer, his review starts with the first sentence that I consider myself fortunate to have reviewed such a brilliant doctoral thesis. And that letter ends with a request to the Vice Chancellor or Registrar that please allow me to keep this copy. Yeah, that letter is with me and now. Okay, that's all. I did it for the sake of it. At that time I could go into any of the management institutes. Okay. Dr. Baldev Raj Sharma, the director of IMI Delhi, he called me many times. But I did PhD just because of that, that's all. Like I tried drama, like I tried short flourish, like I tried poetry. And I tried to work on machines. I could repair most of the electrical equipments, electronic equipments, mechanical equipments. Yeah. I even tested my mechanical ability by opening locks. At that time, sometime in 1963, 64 and all that, any lock could be opened by me. I had a split ring on my hand, okay, steel ring. I'll just straighten it and put it and open any lock. I consider it mechanically insist because a lock is a mechanical device. I mean that time. Now there are digital devices, whatever it is. So this is all practice only. For what? Nothing. And I have reached my enlightenment also. I am perhaps the only one who did research on enlightenment. Because unlike other people who try for enlightenment, whatever it is, okay, I'm basically a researcher. So I wrote in my own mind what all steps happened or I happened to follow. In that sense, a researcher. Therefore, I know very well that all these are nothing but a drama. Everybody knows that. They only know that. I have experienced it. I can feel, I can see the drama going on in planet Earth, especially on the part of the human beings. When all other creatures are living their existence, human beings, of course, because of the great central nervous system, huge brain reflecting capacity given, they are bound to, break away from the centricity and conformity to nature process. Okay? So from that primitive troglodyte kind of a tree-living man, they gradually disconnect from the centricity, so doing the way nature process are. And finally we have reached the stage of recording it in a beautiful Sony Handycam, subsequently uploading it in the wonderful Google platform of YouTube. See, that's all beautiful. And that's all beautiful. And they were created by a few individuals. Only few individuals liberate and vary the world. And others just follow it. And that is very nice. So they only market it, they only implement it. Some lonely researcher found out the power of silicon chips. Like some lonely person like Nikola Tesla discovered alternating current. Okay. So there is naturally in the normal distribution of population, there are a whole lot of people fascinated with it and want to take advantage of it, and the natural greediness of people will direct somebody to make it a big commercial establishment. So all this was that. So I am making you listening all these ideas because they are all worthy of reflections. At least they are all original ideas. So and you are hearing it from the person who originated it. And nobody can listen directly to Tagore as of now. Nobody can listen to Dhanvantari or Patanjali directly. I am a Patanjali in my domain of understanding creativity, researching on into everything, making solid, firm, clear conclusions about existential realities. So you will invariably become a creative thinker, creative analytic thinker. So now you just not even 22, listening to me, you are wondering about what, and because of your friendliness with me, you hear it as if somebody of your age or a normal college teacher is talking. No. I am definitely extraordinary from my school days. Everyone who knows me know that. And if I was that at that point of time, you can simply just imagine how I will be right now. I am creative not in the conventional subject matters and domains, okay? I am trying to be creative in my tuning with the realities of nature process by which everything has been originated, everything is sustained, everything is maintained. Understand? I am in tune with the nature process which I see operating even in the most advanced rockets and satellites and atom bombs and silicon chips and electric currents and everything. Everything man-made, even a single safety pin or clipping pin is based on nature process, taken out of the materials of nature process, made into that shape by nature process. Okay? And foolish human beings and the entrepreneurs and even the creators think that it is their originated thing. No. Of course they originated. What? Variations in the nature process. So all these things are variants of nature process only. And when I think that, I also understand this human being too is a nature process. No. So when they are trying on variations on automobile engines and satellites, I am trying with this marvelous engine by which all the other things have been created. Do you see? Yeah. And I know even talking about this to the world is just a pastime for me. Then, as I told you, then I realized writing books. I wrote 9 wonderful books. I know that. Only 0.03% of the population can even read it completely without being terribly challenged and sometimes defeated. I just read it, that's all. And that is all. Okay. And what I mean to say that this is just a pastime. I have nothing else to do, therefore I do this. This is not going to reach anywhere. This is not going to be understood by people. Okay. This can be understood right now. You are the only one human being in the whole world listening to this level of ideas, this level of pointers, this level of traveling or driving your attention. Okay? When you are hearing great ideas, and if you sincerely reflect on that, your attention is going in that direction of that idea. One day it will capture it. Or at least it will get trained in running behind one's own perceptions and capture that wild horse of a passing phenomenon. Alright? I feel like stopping it, otherwise the video will be too large. Okay? It's an early morning coincidental dialogue between me and Mantra Rishika Tripura Sundari on 1st of May 2023. Good luck, lucky people.